My name's Sean Morris. I'm from Carnarvon, North Wales. I am 22 years of age and I'm studying automotive engineering here at Harper Adams University. So I've always grown up around cars. I live quite close to Anglesey Circuit, where I work now over the summer as a marshal. I've seen the guys on doing night rallies or closed road stages around North Wales. There are tens of them. There are a few. So it's I always knew someone's dad who had an Escort in the garage, or someone's big brother who had a 205 or anything like that. So it's kind of been just part of my upbringing. I don't know. It's quite infectious, really. Once you get started, you can't really put it down, and you just can't stop. So some of the technical challenges that arise, probably the most classic of any vehicle is the car not starting. So at the start of February we rebuilt the car, and it was coming to the end of the winter re-prep, and we're coming up to East riding stages now, so really need to get that car out the door. And freshly rebuilt engine, went to crank, and she'd crank, she'd turn over, but she wouldn't go. So went through all the classics, and it was really a team effort to be able to go through all those systems on such a complex car and be able to deduce what was correct, what might need further investigation. And now I'm quite happy to say she runs great. Probably the most important thing I've learned from working in a rally team is to be prepared for expect the unexpected. You can't go in with a set idea of how it will go. You need to be adaptable. You need to think for yourself. You need to problem solve on the go, and really overcome some challenges that you never would have thought could arise. Such as at the Cambrian last year, we had the gear lever snap in the car. That's not really something you usually plan for, but it took some quick thinking from all the team, really, to be able to disassemble the turret and get that fixed and get the car back out. So I think it really does develop your problem solving and your critical thinking. So what a lot of people probably don't realise about being on events is how much downtime you might have as a mechanic. You might only have 2 or 3 services in a day, and those services, they are controlled chaos, where you're going at 100 miles an hour trying to get everything sorted. So it's very important to keep calm and keep focused during those times. But it's also really important to keep your mind in the game, especially when you're sat in service waiting for the car. You can't really afford to let your mind wander and get bored. Essentially, you have to think what might the car have. If you're on a gravel rally, well, what are the typical things we look for when a car comes in, or a tarmac rally with cracked brake discs? You really do need to have that focus and that mental resilience, really, to be able to just keep your head in the game for such long hours, especially when you start sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're not finished until 2 o'clock the next morning. I have to admit, managing the lads here, to give them full credit, they make it very easy. They're a brilliant bunch of mechanics. I couldn't ask for much better. They work, they're there when I need them. They do everything and anything I ask of them, even if it's the mundane task of cleaning the windscreen or it's full-blown chaos during a service. So I have to give them my thanks, essentially, because it makes my job a lot easier. It's been a great learning experience for me, because I can focus on myself and worry about myself without having to worry about who's in the back and what they're doing. So I'm quite grateful for that, really. I think I've always been interested in a career in the automotive sector. However, I think, as lots of people think, motorsport seems the pinnacle of that sector and almost seems unobtainable sometimes. So Rallying The Wright Way has provided essentially a great service, and it's got my foot in the door. Companies who you once thought were giant, unobtainable dreams like M Sport, and you suddenly realise, I know someone who works there, or I know someone who works here, and you suddenly find yourself integrated into that community, whereas I believe it could be extremely challenging otherwise to get your foot in that door. So I think for that service, I think we all owe Charlie a bit of a thanks, really, because I now see myself with a career in motorsport, and I very much look forward to it. So I'll probably see myself in 5 years' time covered in mud under some WRC1 car, hopefully. Or maybe I've got a promotion and I'm nice and clean in a shirt in the back of the lorry. You know, I'm not going to complain. But definitely in the world of rallying, I can't imagine not doing what I'm doing now. I just absolutely love it. I'm a bit mad for it. So I think if I spoke to myself before I came to Harper, I think the most important thing I'll tell myself was to plan. You know, you can't wing it. I've always kind of just thought I'll be okay and just kind of, you know, just go with the flow and wing it and it'll always be all right. But you suddenly realise in a sector so demanding as rallying or the automotive industry, you really do have to plan. You know, there are great systems out there. You know, keep a notebook or use things like Time Tree. You know, there are really great bits of kit to help you plan your time, and it'll help immensely with not only getting your work done and work done to a high standard, but also your own mental health, because you suddenly realise it's very easy to get swamped in work, especially when you're a student and you're trying to do something like rallying. So being able to keep on top of that, have it in black and white, you know, I'm doing this then, it really does help you keep your mind clear.